What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and the past week of the Johnny Depp trial has been absolutely bonkers. I mean crazy, insane. There has been bombshell after bombshell after bombshell dropping, and none of them are working out in Amber Turd's favor. In fact, it even came out that Amber Turd is somewhat suffering from some type of different personality disorders. And you know what? I have some feelings about that. I know that there are plenty of people out there that suffer from different disorders. You know, everyone has their own issues. And I sympathize with that, and I can acknowledge that. But I feel like we have to be very careful in today's society. So many people who have never even gone to a doctor in their life, they get on Google and they basically self-diagnose themselves with all of these different conditions and these different mental illnesses, and they wear it on their sleeve like it's some type of like stripes, you know, like some type of purple heart, like it's something to be proud of, and they basically use it as an excuse for all of their egregious actions and the horrendous things that they do. Now, I'm not saying that's all people. There are real people who have real problems. But in our society, we have created this, like, I don't even know what to call it. We've created this state where victims are, like, congratulated. Like, victimhood is congratulated. Like, oh, if you want to quickly be acknowledged and quickly be boosted into social media fame, then you have to claim to be a victim of something. Like, I'm old enough to remember when it wasn't cool being a victim. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being a victim of something. People, you know what I'm saying here? Like, there's so many fake victims out there that literally clout chase off of being a victim. They try to get brownie points off of being a victim. They try to get cool points off of being a victim. They try to self-identify with these other victims who are real life victims and copy off of their stories. And very much, I feel like that's the type of person Amber Turd is. And I feel like we have to be careful diagnosing people with these different disorders, because these disorders are just used as excuses for people being shitty people. You know, back in my day, when we saw someone like AH, we called them a succubus, which was a term that I first learned on South Park. Maybe a CUNT, a BITCH, like a cold-hearted BITCH. That's what AH is, a manipulative, cold-hearted BITCH. But you know, in today's world, they want to shy away from that. They want, oh no, it's because she's got borderline personality disorder. Oh, it's because of this disorder. No, maybe she's just a terrible human being who will now, for the rest of her life, hide behind these disorders and use them as excuses for how she treats people. We have to shy away from that. It's a bad look on people who are actually suffering from these disorders. Because I can guarantee you, there's plenty of people out there suffering from these different disorders that aren't just terrible, shitty people like Amber Turd. So what I feel like here is it's less of Amber Turd is suffering from these personality disorders, and I feel like it's more of that she is a overprivileged, straight up brat who just doesn't fathom not getting her way. She's used her looks probably her whole entire life to get her ahead. And she has anger issues. She has anger issues because she has not grown to the point, like she hasn't been told no enough in her life. Let's put it like that. She's one of those people who haven't had to not have their way. She's had her way her entire life. And when she doesn't get her way, she goes absolutely insane and acts like a child. I don't care if she's a 35, 36-year-old woman. She still has the mentality of a 14-year-old mean girl in high school because she never had to grow from that, because no one ever made her grow from that, because all of the people in her life have enabled her. The various men she encountered enabled her. They enabled her behavior. They came back time and time again, no matter how sadistic and crazy she was, and eventually gave her her way until now. So no, I don't think there's any of these personality disorders. In fact, I want you to watch this clip. You could literally see Amber Turd like struggling to control her anger when she's not getting her way. And when these witnesses and their accounts of what happened aren't going her way, you got to look at her. Like, she's literally like you could just tell like she wants the monster and beast to come out, but she's like having to like move around, make these facial expressions, roll her. Let's just roll this clip and check it out real quick.
Sorry?
The words that misheard you.
Document.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. If you want.
Can you go to the third paragraph? Pull up the third paragraph, please.
You see what I mean? And how like you could visibly tell that she's trying her best to control herself. And honestly, I don't know if she's going to make it through this whole trial. If she keeps getting dogged out and absolutely destroyed by every witness that takes the stand, she may just have an outburst. She's close to having an outburst. And you know what? I feel bad for whoever is around her when these trials like are over. You know, when 5 o'clock comes and the trial ends and she has to go home, you don't want to be around that woman. I guarantee you she is being absolutely and acting absolutely irate and just uncontrollable right now. But this isn't the only example of that. I've seen this plenty of times throughout the trial, and I'll play another clip for you in just a moment. But like I was saying here, I think I could visibly see someone with anger issues trying to control their anger, and I'm not buying the personality disorders aspect of this whole story. I think she's just a woman who's had her way her whole life and doesn't know how to be told no. And there are plenty of women out there like that. Straight up brats, daddy's girls who never got told no. They got everything they ever asked for. And then when they go out into the dating world, they continue to get anything they ever asked for. And they specifically target men who could give them anything they ask for. And I think Amber Turd has, a clear track record of doing that. Elon Musk, Johnny Depp, these are clearly men that could provide anything you ask for. And I mean, obviously, she has some type of power over them, and I honestly don't even think she really likes men. I think that she's more into women, but she likes using men. She likes getting what she can out of men because she has more of a power over men than she does women. You understand what I'm saying? So I just feel like this is just her, and she's just a terrible person. I mean, I could try to explain it in 1,000 ways for people to understand, but I think that's the simplest way to put it. I don't think she's suffering from these illnesses. I think she's just a bad person. Just a bad egg who society enabled. Society enabled this type of behavior because they gave her everything she wanted because of her looks. And let's just be honest. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if she didn't look like this. She would never be around the same tables as Elon Musk and Johnny Depp. And I'm not even saying she's the most beautiful thing to ever walk this earth because, honestly, I don't find her as attractive anymore. Especially, I don't know. Once I hear things like what she's done to Johnny, she becomes more and more ugly to me. And that's weird, because from the outside, perspective, you look at her, she's a perfectly, attractive woman. But when you learn things like the turd in the bed, that right there, I'm good. That's enough. I will never bat an eye at you again if I hear you do something like that. I don't want nothing to do with it. But let's just take a look at her visibly trying to control her anger once again. If you think that I was lying about the first clip, watch this one.
Treating environment in therapy, if somebody is going in for treatment, the mental health provider will ask them questions to find out what sort of symptoms they've experienced and what sort of things have occurred in their life that might be consistent with these disorders or rule out these disorders, prove that there's no reason for these disorders to be considered. They might also pay attention to their observations of the client over time and new information the client provides them. The most reliable way, however, to ever come about a diagnosis really is through a comprehensive psychological assessment. And I might use the words assessment, examination, testing interchangeably. They all mean the same thing. It's combining information from multiple different sources. One main source is psychological testing using validated, objective.
I mean, she's just rolling her eyes, rocking back and forth. She's acting, like I said, like a high school mean girl, or better yet, even like more like a middle schooler. One thing I've noticed throughout this trial is how she reacts and how Johnny reacts. Johnny has been calm, cool, and collected. And when he does react to something, he laughs, or it's a joke out of it. He's not like rolling his eyes and looking all disgusted, even though, the lawyers, AH's lawyers, are saying some of the most stupidest things I could possibly imagine, and they're asking some of the stupidest questions I've ever heard. Like literally some of the stupidest questions I've ever heard. And Johnny's not sitting there rocking back and forth in his seat, rolling his eyes, sighing, and doing all that. He may laugh and, laugh with his lawyer a little bit, but he's not acting as childish as Amber Turd is. And 24/7, she's just over there rolling her eyes, just looking like she's disgusted that the truth about her is finally coming out. And now we know that she's taking the stand next week. Oh, man. If you thought this week was crazy, next week is going to be absolutely insane. And I thought this week was crazy personally, but I cannot even imagine, what her approach may be next week when she takes the stand. But I want to know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you on the next video.